Good day, everyone. Welcome to lesson 8 of the grade 5 coding holiday program, which is brought to you by Africa Teen Geeks together with the Department of Education and myself, your teacher, Mr. Sean Murugan. Okay, today, the 8th lesson. The last couple of lessons, I introduced you to decision making. Today, we will go more in depth with the if and else blocks. Some important links for you are the first one, www.mzora.co.za. That is where you can access your Mzora blocks for coding. And your second link here is a link to all the videos. Maybe some of you have missed certain videos, and maybe like today's lesson is a bit confusing for you. You can always go to this link here, the YouTube link, and you can view all the videos that you have missed, and you can catch up. Not a problem. Okay, so before I actually start anything new, I want to show you something. Yesterday, towards the end of the lesson, somebody asked a question about the soccer. How do we make somebody kick the ball? Okay, so today I'm going to show you how we can do that very quickly. So let's go find a sprite. Now, I told you under sports, you can find a sprite that, okay, when you move your cursor over a sprite, it shows you all the different costumes. Like you can see, Hannah is a good one to use for basketball. Let's use Ben, because Ben you can see, right, he's got the kicking motion. So let's pick Ben. So I'm going to remove the other sprites. So we will just have Ben. And let's also find, I'm going to find another sprite. I'm going to find under sports, I'm going to find the soccer ball. Okay, there is the soccer ball. So we've got Ben and we've got the soccer ball. Let's make the ball, let's make Ben slightly bigger. Make it a little more bigger. Okay, can you see that I just go to size, and as I enter a bigger number, Ben is getting bigger. Okay, so let's get down to it. Now, Ben, if you look at Ben and we go to costumes, so let's click Ben. Let's go to costumes. Okay, please don't share your video, guys. Okay, if you're looking at Ben, look at Ben's costumes. Ben, this is already starting the kicking motion. Right, so A and B basically are the kicking motion, and D is basically standing straight. So what's nice to do is for Ben, we will make, firstly, let's get an event to start with, let's say the green flag. And let's start off by him standing like this. Now remember, if you press the green flag first time, he'll transition to all the different costumes. But when you press it again, then whatever Ben was last, if his leg was in the air, for example, that's how he's gonna remain. So it's nice to, the first thing when you're starting your code is to put how you want him to look in the beginning. So we'll say, okay, I'm doing the code in the wrong place here. Let me click on Ben, events, when clicked, go to looks. Let's go to switch costume to. We leave it on D. This is D where it's standing straight. Let's put a weight. Let's put a weight there for 0.5 seconds. Now, I've explained weight in the previous lesson. Code works so fast. If I don't put a weight there, we won't see the transition. So basically, Ben will kick the ball and it'll be standing straight, but we won't see it because it went so fast. That is why we put a weight in between to force the program to pause so we can see what's going on. So let's then go to costume A. That is when it's starting its kicking motion. Let's put another weight. Another 0.5 seconds. Let's go to costume B. Then let's put another weight under control, 0.5 seconds. And then to end everything off, let's go back to how we started. That is costume B. Okay, so if I click on this, can you see what happened? Let's click again. Okay, perfect. Now we want to make this ball move. So basically now to do that, I'm going to click on the ball sprite. Can you see the ball sprite now? I've just started a little bit of code here. What we're going to do is, every time when I click the green flag, just say the ball went there. And I want to start again. I want the ball to always start in this position. So if I go to motion, now the good thing about it, if you look at the, see as I move it, see the value changing. So you can actually move it first where you want it. This is where I want it. You take your go-to. But we don't need this, yeah? We'll put your go-to. So basically, whenever I start, the ball is going to go to this position, which is x minus 74, y minus 106. Then, now remember, if I go to Ben, there's a 0.5 second, 0.5 second delay. So if you add those two up, it's like a 1 second delay, basically. So I don't want this ball to start moving immediately. I want to wait for that 1 second. So I can say wait for 1 second. Then under motion, there's so many ways we can move the ball 10 steps. I'm going to use the glide. And firstly, let me say, where do you want it to glide? I want it to glide to that position there. Can you see, as soon as I moved it, the value is already changed. So I don't actually have to go and type it in. Okay, so let's test this out. Okay, perfect. Let's test it out again. Now watch here, when I click the green flag again, the ball will start again at this position. So watch. Right, quite simple code. You can go and you can elaborate on this. Let's take, I think Jaden got his hand up. Let's take Jaden's question. Jaden?
Okay, sir. I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Is it true that if you kick a ball for 0.5 seconds, or maybe you can just kick it for 2 seconds?
Yes, you can. You see what I did here? You see this 0.5 seconds? That is to change his action. So basically, I want him to stand straight for half a second. Then he's going to go to Ben A. Now, if you look at Ben A, so go to costume C, Ben A looks like this. Can you see he's starting to kick? So I want him to be in this position for half a second. And then I want him to do this. This is called Ben B. I want him to kick the ball for another half a second. So if you want to go and change it and make it, if you want to go and change it and you want to make it for 1 second or 2 seconds, you can do what you want. Even to move the ball, I move the ball using the glide. If you want to make the ball maybe go like this, go up. Now what you basically have to do is move the ball there. Right, you check what X and Y coordinates. You can say here, go to that position. And but basically you've got to put a delay and you have to keep moving it. So you've got to add lots of code here. But I trust that you guys can do that. So I chose the easiest option. I chose this one here that says glide. So 110 is going to move from there to that position. But if you want to kick the ball in the air, up like this, and then come down, no problem. You can use this here, go to. Okay. So this program here, okay, I will save this program. Okay. Now, just to teach you how you save your program, I told you type in, for example, lesson 8. This is the first one I'm doing. So I'll say _1. I will come here and say save to your computer. And once you do that, you will see it will get saved under your download folder. We're going to start a new program. Okay. Now for today, the first one I want to do is about a ride. Now, you know, like for example, when you go to Ushaka. Now, sometimes in Ushaka, maybe there's a certain ride. They will tell you, you know what, you've got to be above a certain age. Or maybe if you go to Gold Reef City and there's a certain ride there, they'll say, no, no, if you're too small, you can't go on the certain ride. Maybe the certain roller coaster is it moves too fast. You can't go on it if you are uh, too little. So basically, what I'm going to do today is just make a simple uh, program where you enter your age and it will tell you whether you are allowed to go on the ride or not. Now, some of you guys now will be thinking of, hey, you know what? I think I know how to do this. But keep your mind that working now, and let's see how we can do this. To start off, let's use Ushaka. Now, the reason I want to pick Ushaka is because to pick a sprite, let's see what sprites we have here. It's nice to pick a nice fancy sprite. Let's pick people. Okay, I'm looking at it. We don't have like a person that looks like he's gonna be in a ride. Maybe this guy here. Okay, he looks like a space person. Okay, if I pick the sprite here, a space ride, and let's pick a space background. So maybe this is like a space theme ride. Most of you guys have seen these games on TV, like in Disney World. And let's see if we have something to do with space. There's one nice one here. Let's pick the first one, space. Okay, so basically this is what's going to happen. Let's say that the ride, the space ride, you've got to be above 10 years old to go in this ride. So basically, if you're below that, you're not allowed to go in this ride. So let's start off with our event. When green flag clicked, then I will say, let's go make a variable. The variable that I want to make is age because I want to ask you what is your age. So I will type in age. Let me make this a bit bigger so you can see. Okay, so we got when clicked. I've got age. So let's ask. So we go to sensing. Remember, these two things go hand in hand. You ask and the answer gets stored here. So let's type in. What is your age? So we ask, what is your age? Okay, if anybody has their mic on, please mute your mic. So we ask, what is your age? Then we go to variables and we say set age to answer. So basically, I've got my age. Now I'm going to check. Only if you are more than 10 years, if you are greater than 10 years old, basically 11, 12, and so on, then only you are allowed to go on the ride. So we will go to control. Let's use the if with the else. Now I need to put a comparison here. Now you remember this special shape I was teaching you yesterday. Not anything can go in this shape here. For example, if I take this round shape and put it, it doesn't go. So I need to go and find this shape here. And where can I find that shape? There's it over here. Now I want to find, let's take the shape here, the greater than shape. So if, go to variables, if your age is greater than 10, then only I am going to allow you to enter this game. So we can put a message saying, let's put a say. You are allowed. You are allowed on this ride. Okay. And else means, unfortunately, your age is not greater than 10. So then I will say sorry. You are not allowed on this ride. Okay. So let's test it out. See. Okay, what is your age? Just say I'm 8. Type in 8. Sorry, you are not allowed on this ride. Let's try. Okay, I am 11. You are allowed on this ride. Okay. Now, while you are looking at this, it's quite simple. I'd like to show you something. Right? You see, this left-hand side there, I told you, this is all your tools. They call it like a palette. All your blocks that you want to use is here. But you know, in the bottom here, where it's got the plus sign, it's got add extension. When you click there, but they've got more things that you can use. Right? They've got more things that you can use, like music, pen. Just say, for example, you want something to be drawn. You can use all of these things here. One interesting thing that we could try today is text to speech. Now, under text to speech, right, basically, okay, so somebody has the mic on. Please mute your mic. Now you've got these 3 things that we can use. So let's try this. Just speak. And let's type in. What I'm going to do is, after I say that, I'm also going to put this here in. Now I'm just going to copy this and paste it in here. Basically, whatever you type in, it will say. So it works just like you say, but hopefully now it's going to say it. We're going to hear it say. Let's say the word. Let's try. What is your age? If I enter 5.
Sorry, you are not allowed on this ride.
Okay, cool. Let's try. I'm 11 years old.
You are allowed on this ride.
Okay. Now you see, we've tried something else, making it more fun. Now you see these other 2 things here: set voice and set language. Basically, set voice will change the tone of the voice. Basically, if you pick there, it's alto. Let's try. Let's try right in the top. I'll make voice to tenor. Right, let's see what happens now. If I enter 5.
Sorry, you are not allowed on this ride.
Okay, so basically, can you see by me selecting the different options of voices? Let's try giant. Can you see I put the set in the top there, so whenever I use speak now, it's going to be in the giant voice. Let's try giant. Let's try 6 years old.
Sorry, you are not allowed on this ride.
Okay, so you can play around with that and set language to English. Now what this actually does is, if I go and change it to let's change it to German, and let's make this back to tenor. Set language to German. Now watch what happens. I'm 5 years old.
Sorry, you are not allowed on this ride.
Okay, so what is actually happening here? It doesn't say, it still says it in English, but it says it in a German accent. So if you go change the language to, let's try Japanese. Right, we're gonna try Japanese. Let's try this out. Let's try, I'm 3 years old.
Sorry, you are not allowed on this ride.
Okay, can you see what's happening here? Basically, by setting the language, it's actually just gonna change the accent of this here. Okay, so I've got a hand raised there. Let's take the hand from Zoe.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Zoe.
How are you?
I'm fine. And yourself?
I'm good. So, sir, how do you find these blocks?
Okay. Oh, you're talking about the voice blocks, Louis?
Yes.
Okay. Now you see the voice blocks. You see, it comes here, this blue. You see the blue icon right in the bottom. It says add extension. When you click there, you've got extra things that you can use. Now, music, pen, video sensing. Basically, video sensing will activate your webcam, and then you can actually, when you move your hand, you can make something happen. Like you can actually simulate, you know, when you're playing your Wii games or the games where you involve motion, you can use video sensing. But the one I used was text to speech. And when as soon as you click this, can you see an extra option comes up in the bottom? You see it? Text to speech.
Yes, sir.
And they give you 3 blocks. One block is the speak block. So whatever you type in there, it will speak. This other block here is where you set the voice, and you've got quite a few options here. I'm sure you realize that they like ticking with the frequency of the voice. Like as they make it maybe at a higher frequency, it will sound like a chipmunk, squeak. And what's the third block was the language, set language to. And as we've been playing around with it, we heard that it actually will change the accent of what you, because we are typing in English. Okay, so let's save this program. Are you fine, Zoe?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me save this program. Okay, let me save it properly. I should have typed in here. Less than 8, it's the second program. And I'll say file, save to your computer. Okay, let me close all of this. Let's start a new one. Okay. Now I want to do another one where we're going to enter 2 numbers. We're going to enter 2 numbers, and we'll get the sprite here to tell us which number is larger. So we're going to enter 2 numbers, and we're going to display which number is larger. So let's start off by putting a when green flag clicked. Now I said I want to enter 2 numbers. So let's make 2 variables. We can call it, for example, num1 for the first variable. And let's go click make variable. Let's make the second variable num2. Okay, so we've got num1, we've got num2. Now, I'm going to ask for you to enter the values. So we'll go to sensing. And we'll say ask. We'll use the ask block. So I'll say enter in the first number. Enter in the first number. Then I will go to variables and I will say set num1 to answer. Okay. Now guys, isn't I'm going to ask now for the second number. I'm just going to show you now. You see, I'm quick going to the left and coming to the center, going to the left. Now, I'm going to do the same 2 blocks again. I'm going to ask now for the second number. So what you do is you come and click over here on the top of the 2 blocks where it says ask, I right click and duplicate. Let's see what happens. It makes a copy of those things. Now, I will just come in here and I will change. I will say enter in the second and make this num2. Now, if you are not comfortable with duplicating or copying now, you can go to the left and you can do it. But with practice, as you are doing this over and over, you'll realize that sometimes copying and pasting is very quick. So what comes next? I'm going to check for the larger number. So let's go to the if. Let's go to control. Let's go to the if else. Now I need to find a comparison. I want to say if num1 is bigger than num2, then num1 is the biggest number. Otherwise, num2 is a bigger number. So I'll go to operators and go look for the greater than sign. Right, and I will say if, go to variables, if num1 is greater than num2, then what do? I will say, let's put the say block together with the join. Now, why I'm putting the join? Because I want to say two things. I want to say the larger number is. The larger number is, and I want to put in my variable num1. Okay. So now if I want to, what would be the else? The else could be, let me duplicate this. Okay, I won't duplicate, I will do it and show you. You put your say block. You will go to operators and take your join. And I'll say the larger number is, and take my variable num2. Okay, let's test this out. Enter in the first number. So if I enter 5, enter in the second number. If I enter 8, the larger number is 8. Okay, so let's try it again. Let me enter 100. Enter in the second number. Let's enter 50. The larger number is 100. Okay. Quite simple program this is. Now, this could, let me show you one thing. If we enter the same number twice, now obviously we enter two different numbers, but just say, for example, if the person enters 50 and they ask them for the second number and then they enter 50 again, it says the larger number is 50. Now I can show you where it can tell me that the numbers are equal. Now let me show you that. Let me first save this program here. Right, let's save this program. I'll call this is our third program. I will say lesson 8_3 file save to the computer. Okay. Now let's check now, because sometimes a person might enter the same number twice. So what we can do is, you see under the else part here. Under this else part, now this is the first time I'm going to show you something like this, where the else part, remember, we checked if number 1 is bigger than number 2, then the larger number is this. Now under the else part, I can go and put this. I can go and take another if else and put it over here. Right. And then I can go and do this. I can go and say, if take the greater than sign, put it in here, go to variables. I'll say if num2 is bigger than num1, then I'll say the larger number is num2. And this else now, remember, I already checked if the first number is bigger than the second number. I already checked if the second number is bigger than the first number. Then this last part here will be when they are equal. So basically I can go to looks and I can say the numbers are equal. Let's test this out and see. Enter the first number. Let's enter test all options. I'll enter 10, then I'll enter 20. The larger number is 20. Working. Perfect. Let's try. Now I'll enter the big number first. I'll enter 50. Then let's enter 6. It should tell me that, but the larger number is 50. Perfect. Now I want to enter the same number twice. Enter in the first number. Say I enter 10. Enter in the second number. I enter 10 again. The numbers are equal. Now, guys, if this seems a little bit confusing to you, it is now getting longer. You know, we can do this in many ways. Once you start thinking, we can do this in another way. For example, let me explain this first. I entered my two numbers. What is this do? If number 1 is bigger than number 2, then I'm going to display a bigger number is number 1. The else part will only be run. All the parts inside here will only be done if this part is wrong. So in other words, if the first number is not big, then now we check if the second number is big. Now I broke this down in two options because there is one possibility in case they are equal. Now, let me show you, right? If this seems so complicated, I'm going to leave this one side. You can go and put this, guys. You can go put 3 separate if statements. Watch it. You can put 3 separate if statements. And I can say, for example, let me stop this. I'll put the 3 options, guys. Watch it. I will explain this to you now. Variables. Num1 equals to num2. But basically, remember, even though this code is not being run because I took a left it on the side, only when it's linked up, only this is going to run now because it's linked up. So what are my 3 if statements? I'm checking if num1 is bigger than num2. Then I'm checking if num2 is bigger than num1. And the last option, I'm checking if they are equal, if num1 equals to num2. And basically, you put in your messages there. Maybe for some of you, you like this is more easier to understand. Let me just take this and put it right in the bottom here. Okay. Now this looks, maybe this looks better. You understand this better. Let's try this method here. Enter in the first number. If I enter 10, enter the second number, enter 5. The larger number is 10. Perfect. Let's try again. Let's enter the 10 first. So it's bigger number second. If we enter 5, enter the second number 10. The larger number is 10. Perfect. Now I want to enter the same number twice. So if I enter 50, second number 50, the numbers are equal. Okay, so can you see this method also works? So what does this program teach you? There's not only one way to do the program. For example, now, if you try to do one of the questions I did, but you did it differently, it's not necessarily wrong. There are many ways to do the same thing. Okay, as long as there are many different blocks here, the way you put your block together, you can get it to work for you. Like that program I started off today, kicking the ball, I use the glide. You could say, no, I don't like the glide. I like to use the move. Move 10 steps, move 10 steps, move however many steps. For example, that will be good for you. And it works perfect. It doesn't mean that mine is right and yours is wrong. Okay. So I've got a hand up. Let's see if Jaden still got a question there while you're looking at this. Okay, Jaden, you got a question?
Okay, sir. Yes. Okay, sir. Is it true that you can say your larger number is you can say that the larger number is 200, isn't it?
Yes, you can. Basically, whatever numbers you enter, when you're entering the numbers, you can enter maybe the number 100, and then you can enter the number 200. And then it will check for you and tell you which number is bigger. Okay, now guys, you might be thinking, it's so obvious. Now we know if I enter 2 numbers, we just know straight away which number is bigger. But remember, we are not going to answer the question. If I tell you from 10 and 5, which is bigger, obviously you will tell me that's too easy, sir, it's 10. If I ask you a question, people, and tell you, okay, from 100 and 200, which number is bigger? You're going to tell me 200. That is because we went to school and we know about numbers. But remember now, we made this character answer the question. You understand? This is like a computer now. This thing can't think for itself. It was blank. You know, like how we start off with no code blank. Now we have basically gave instruction for this computer, this character, to figure out which number is bigger. Okay, so basically we taught it. We taught this robot over here how to figure out what number is bigger. Okay, let's get another question from Zoe. Okay, Zoe.
Sir, so can you make the program also say which number is small?
Yes, yes, yes. Good question. Very good question. Right. If we want to say which number is smaller, watch here what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to looks and I'm going to take the say block, put it in over here. Then I will go to operators and take a join. Okay. And then I will say over here the smaller number is, and I will put my variable num2. And I will do the same in the bottom over here. Let's put the say. I will put a join. Remember, why am I putting a join? When I want to put more than one, say more than one thing, you use the join. The join, you can put join inside a join. You can, like the other lesson, you can put, your join can look very long. As long as you take it and you put it inside the say, then everything will be set. So here, I'll say the smaller number is, if num2 is greater than num1 is smaller. Go to variables and let's put num1 here. Let's test this out now. Let's run it. Enter in your first number. If I say the first number is 20, enter in the second number. If I say second number is 40, it will tell me now. The larger number is 40, the smaller number is 20. Okay, and everything else will work. Okay, good question there by Zoe. Okay, do we have questions from anybody else? Okay, I see most of you all, you'll ask questions on the chat, but you don't like to talk. Can I get a question from somebody else? Okay, did you enjoy today's lesson? If somebody wants to just say something. I see only Zoe and Jaden like speaking. Okay, we've got one more person. Yes, Tapelo. Please join us, Tapelo.
Sir,
Hi, Tapelo.
do you think the larger number is unconventional?
Meaning?
Meaning that if a first number,
Yeah.
then the second. If it's 50 to 40,
Yeah.
what does it mean?
Okay. You see, the way we're doing it here, it doesn't matter what number you entered first. If you entered 50 first or second, see this comparison here. Let me explain this first part here to you. Think about it. When we entered this number, we entered it, it entered this variable. Look at this box here. Think about this box. If I enter 20, all we know that it's inside the first box, num1. Then, when they ask for your second number, the second number, whatever you entered, is stored here in num2. So just say, for example, like this example I'm showing you, it's 40. Now, when we do this comparison, it doesn't matter which number was entered first or which number was entered second. When we do the comparison, it compares the two boxes, num1 and num2. So basically, it will just check, is this value 20? You know how we're going to do this? It's basically, let me show you. I'm going to put this next to it. This is actually what's being checked. Num1 value is 20. And num2 value is 40. This is what's actually being checked. Is 20 greater than 40? Because we're checking what's inside the variable. Do you understand? Okay. So if I entered the bigger number first, it doesn't matter. It'll just put the values there. This is actually, this block here is going to be, when it's run, the value that's inside num1 will be checked. So if num1 got 20, I'm going to be checking, is 20 greater than 40? And if it's true, right, in this situation is not true. 20 is not greater than 40. So this will be false. Then this won't be run. This will be run. The second part is num2 greater than num1. So if you come here now, what is num2 value? 40. This is actually going to check is 40 greater than 20. That is what is actually going to be checked. And if 40 is greater than 20, it will say, if it's true, it will say the larger number is num2, which is 40, and the smaller number is num1. Okay. Now, guys, I always end up the last program a little bit difficult. Now, I know this is a little bit difficult here for you compared to the first two programs that I did. Okay, let me just save this first. Let's save this as the first program. Okay. Now, the reason why I want to show you a little bit difficult things is because, see, this holiday program, I'm only going to see you a limited number of times. And I like to show you now, those of you who like to learn a little bit faster, that you can do more complicated things. And actually, if you break this down, look at this program, it's like so long. But if you break it down, what are we doing here in the beginning? In the beginning, I'm just asking a question. I'm storing the answer in a variable. So basically, I asked you for a number, the first number and second number. I stored it in num1 and num2. Then break it up in small portions. What I'm doing now, let's do one check. Let's check if num1 is bigger than num2, and let's do something. Break it up in small portions when you learn. Okay, and then, okay, that part is separate. Now I want to do another check. Let's check if num2 is the bigger number, if num2 is bigger than num1. And lastly, I said, hey, let's check what in case the person entered the same number twice. Okay. There's it over here. Okay. I see we got another hand raised. Let's take the question from, okay, Zoe got another question.
So, right now when I was testing it, so when I said num1 is 2 and num2 is 4, it said they are equal.
It said that they are equal.
So how? Yes. So do you have to change anything to make it correct?
Okay. You know how you can find your mistake, right? You can find your mistake by doing this now, right? Did you use the 3 separate if statements like this, or did you use the one I did previously, like this one? Which one you use?
I use the if else.
Okay, very good. If you use the if else, now think about the logic, right? If you use the if else, look, can you see it in the screen now? Maybe you can pick up your error.
Yes.
We checked if the first number is bigger than your second number. But the else
Yes.
part now, we wanted to check 2 things. We want to check if the second number is greater than num1, then we'll say the larger number is num2. And the last else part now, you can say the numbers are equal. Maybe you can pick up your error there. Maybe you made a mistake with this variables over here and so on. Okay. Okay, but guys, if you don't understand this question too much, but you understand each step, that will be fine. You can go back and look at the video. I don't want you to get stressed out with this difficult one. And let's take that question from Jaden.
Okay, sir. Is it true that if you say the smaller number is 10, 20, or 30, or 30. Maybe if you can say the smaller number is 9. Is it true?
Yeah, you can enter. Just say we enter 30 and 9. Watch over here. Let me run this for you. If I enter the number 30, then I enter the number 9. It says the larger number is 30, the smaller number is 9. Basically, this program will work for whatever number you enter. Okay. Now, I'll tell you again, guys, if you feel that this program was difficult, go and look at the first 2 or 3 programs. I just showed you one difficult one so that you know this is how difficult you can make it. Now, I will do more easier ones in the next lesson, in tomorrow's lesson. I'll start again tomorrow's lesson with easier ones. Okay. Any more questions do we have? Are you all fine? Okay. Just remember to go and play around with this text to speech. This text to speech thing, it's quite interesting. You can go play around with it. Let's let me show you something here. If I want to also say which number is larger, let's try this out here. Enter the first number. If I enter 30, I'll enter the second number, I'll enter 10.
The larger number is 30.
Okay. Very simple, guys. Right. So basically, I took the join and I put the join inside the speech because I wanted to tell me with the variable. So you can go play around with this. And now that you know about the speech, text to speech, you can go to any of the programs, you know, like the program about the soccer program, or even the first program we did with the dancing ogre. You can go put in some speech there. And as I told you, you have to change the voice. You can go and play around with the different types of voice. You got kitten, giant, squeak, tenor, alto. Okay, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. And okay, the last question, I think we still have one more question. Let me see if I can answer that quickly. Zoe.
So I don't have any questions.
Oh, okay, you're fine. Okay, no problem, Zoe. Okay, so you guys, you take care. Remember the video of this lesson. This last program I did, if you missed anything, please go to the YouTube channel, type in there Africa Teen Geeks. You will find today's lesson will be there towards the evening, but all the other lessons you will find there. Okay, and if you have any questions when you're working at home, tomorrow's lesson, I'll give you time you can ask the questions. Okay, thank you so much, guys. You take care. Goodbye.